All right. What's going on, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. We are live and alive in the 915 Chuco Town. That's right, Chucolandia. My name is Richie David Marrufo. I'll be your MC and host, and this is our Monday night online open mic. We are the Barbed open mic series based out of El Paso, Texas. But because this is online, we get to connect and collaborate and create with people from all over the globe. It's a whole lot of fun. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome. Great to have you. We have been doing this since April of 2020, so I'm happy you found your way to us eventually. Otherwise, if you're returning, welcome back. As always, we do have our live chat. That's something I definitely want to like push and promote a little bit because unlike a maybe a traditional poetry reading or open mic performance where there's a stage, there's a mic, there's lights, and there's people in the audience, we don't know our audience unless you say hello in the chat. So we definitely encourage you guys to hang out during the live chat. Let us know what lines hit you a certain way, how they make you feel, or if you learn something new, or maybe you can relate in some way. It's always fun to see interactions with people's writing. With that said, we do welcome poetry, prose, songwriting, instrumental music. If you guys do any of these genres, we also welcome originals. It could be something you wrote 5 minutes ago. You could have written it earlier today, last week, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And of course, we also welcome the cover pieces. That's right. Just like musicians can do cover songs, we do encourage people to give tribute to someone that they've been reading, maybe that they look up to, that they're learning the craft from, or just want to like give a shout out on a particular day. Maybe it's timely in some way. So with that said, a couple things. We are also based, like I said, based out of El Paso. We do have a couple of live events this week that you can check out. So yeah, we are online every Monday, but you can catch us every Tuesday live in person in downtown El Paso. Um, you know, unless there's some sort of special event or something going on, and we can't do it. But we will be at Mona Bar Tuesday at 410 and a half East San Antonio Street. Pretty much follow us on social media. You'll see like our posts, our flyers. We have a calendar that you can follow. Come through. That is an open mic open to anything. And when I say that, that also means dance. All right. If you grew up and like if you write scripts and want to try out like maybe some theater performance, a monologue, maybe a small like a quick play, a flash fiction type piece, we welcome that, of course, for the most part. Come on through. Sign up for that starts at 8 p.m. and the show starts after 9. It's a late show. And also, there's food now. So if you're a little hungry, we have a hot dog uh, kitchen in the back now. They serve these foot-long hot dogs as well as tots. I've enjoyed every single thing so far. What else? Wednesday, we have volume 3 of our Storycraft. Storycraft is a night for storytellers. So if you write prose, if you like telling stories, if you know someone who likes telling stories, it could be something you've written, or it could even just be something that you're riffing on your head. The way it works is that one is readers are selected at random via chalice. You put your name in a cup and we draw it. There's a whole ceremonial aspect to it. It's kind of fun. And we get 4 readers that night, unless it goes by really quickly. And if you are selected, you get 15 minutes to share any prose that you want that you've written. And then after that, we immediately go into like a portion for feedback, so we can get Q&A, comments, and just maybe a little bit of critique from the audience. What worked, what didn't work. It's a good opportunity to live workshop pieces, and that's kind of the goal, is to work on our craft. Hence, Storycraft. That's hosted by the King Grizz. You might catch them on the morning show, Kiss FM, as well as one of these days maybe hosting another open mic. We'll see. But other than that, if you are here for EPCC for the Tejano Passport program, just let us know in the comments. First of all, say hello, hi, you're here. But I do have instructions in the description of this YouTube video. So if you're watching us on YouTube, go into the description, and somewhere in there, after like the intro parts of it, you can find how to get that credit. Okay, so as always, this is the part of the show where I talk the most, and really, this is a platform. So we're gonna go and switch over to our readers, to our performers, to our community. People who are here every week to share, what's going through their minds, the hopes, the dreams, the anxieties, and we're here for each other. And again, if you want to follow them, I'm going to encourage you guys as always to share your social media, your websites, ways we can purchase book or merchandise, or support any organization that you support that you want us to go through and do. So, let's go ahead and kick things off then, as we always do, often do, with Michael Sindler. And yeah, let's go ahead and switch it off. When you're ready, go and take it away, Michael. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Richie. Good to be back always. I'm just going to start off real quick, sticking up my little thing here for lighthouseriders.org. And Lighthouse always has a lot of neat stuff as far as workshops and classes and events and things like that. But I really want to let people know that starting in June, well, first week of June, is Lit Fest, which is sort of the big yearly festival where they bring a lot of just incredible writers, very high level writers. And those classes are filling up really quick. So you can go on to lighthouseriders.org and look at what's still available and maybe find something that you want to do. But, it doesn't have to just be something from then. Um, I am actually going to start out with a kind of old piece. Um, as I say, Lighthouse brings a lot of great people, and I was in one class with Starlee Klein, who a lot of people might know from This American Life. She's basically a podcaster, done a lot of stuff, but that's what she's best known for. But I was taking the class with her, and I wrote this and that, and it's a ringa. Um, a new story told, mystery of voice and air, displacing silence, rushing wings, hum, syllables, thoughts, regular as heartbeats, captured in a net, chameleon changes colors, hiding in plain sight, form merges into function, rides structured wave of meaning, feather gently floats, gravity, relentless force directing its dance, atmosphere imprisoning the very essence of thought. And this is another one that's about writing, because this is the end of our, National Poetry Month. And this is one called Spun Black. A lot of people here have heard it, but you people out in YouTube haven't. Um, so Spun Black. Pin poised, ink laden tip, tantalizes clean blue line page, urging rolling ball to rest upon surface, skate sharp lines of wet black, scratching surface of white pad poetics, short strokes of clarity, run on riffs, running to edge, getting lost in mark out marshes of incomplete erasure, chosen and unchosen phrases, just hidden enough not to hinder. Flow, words roll from brain, down arm to dance, liquid slate of language drying into sketchy, fragile strokes, thoughts laid gently upon sheet to rest and regroup, pause, stroke, pause, pattern emerging, syllables play amongst themselves, extend off into sentence, some fragment form staccato stepping stones, veer and weave zigzagging paths, whole surface alive, spun filigree of verse, open spaces lend air to lace of iconography, imagination's foundations blueprinted between horizontals, descending documentation, trails toward temporal conclusion, momentary myth of completion resting between recitation, recombination, and recapitulation. Each pause on a page, a space for dreams, pen rests, ink waits, still more tales to flow in time from spun black onto sheer white. And I'll put on the hat, and my hat poems are obviously both going to be also poetry related. And the first one is by one of my absolute favorites, Gary Snyder, my favorite of all the beat poets. And it's called As for Poets. As for poets, the earth poets who write small poems need help from no man. The air poets play out the swiftest gales and sometimes lull in the eddies, poem after poem, curling back on the same thrust. At 50 below, fuel oil won't flow and propane stays in the tank. Fire poets burn at absolute zero. Fossil love pumped back up. The first water poet stayed down 6 years. He was covered with seaweed. The life in his poem left millions of tiny different tracks crisscrossing through the mud. With the sun and moon in his belly, the space poet sleeps. No end to the sky, but his poems, like wild geese, fly off the edge. A mind poet stays in the house. The house is empty and it has no walls. The poem is seen from all sides, everywhere at once. And this next one is by Eve Merriam, and it's called How to Eat a Poem. Gotta eat something. So, how to eat a poem. Don't be polite. Bite in. Pick it up with your fingers and lick the juice that may run down your chin. It is ready and ripe now, whenever you are. You do not need a knife or fork or spoon or plate or napkin or tablecloth, for there is no core or stem or rind or pit or seed or skin to throw away. Okay, thank you very much. Go check out Lighthouse and take a class.
And also really quick, you talked about doing a feature, a storytelling feature with Finn Bell. Do you want to
Yeah,
mention that?
I don't have the details on it, but yeah, if you go to uh, Finn Bell, it's probably on Eventbrite under Finn Bell or Fincabulary. Yeah, it's just on the 30th. I'll be reading a story time thing, and I'm being very secretive about what it is I'm reading. So come and find out. If,
Perfect.
I'll
Yeah.
look for it, and if I find it, I'll put it in the chat.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Yeah. That's good marketing too. If you want to find out, I usually say that in this because I'm still trying to figure it out too in my head. I'm not too. That's what I'm doing. That's anyway. By the way, I didn't mention this in the intro, but and I mentioned this last Monday. We did start a Substack, and obviously I took lead after. Got to give props to David and Lee and even to Sosomok who are doing Substack, and I checked it out. It's really cool, and so I thought it was a perfect way to maybe start one for us for the open mic. And we started because it's April and it's poetry month. Something that people always do is like a 30 for 30 challenge. The idea is to write something new every day, but ultimately what I've been trying to do for this is just post something that people submit to me every day. And so far it's going really well. I think we've posted up to day 26. I'll be posting day 27 after today's show. But yeah, all the way up to Wednesday, day 30. Well, obviously, I think May 1st would be the last post because it's a day behind. But I'm getting awesome submissions. It's cool to see the kind of stuff people are working on. And part of the reason why we do this is because it can be nerve-wracking creating stuff, right? And feeling like it's done. And I've personally had my own anxiety over the years on like feeling like a piece is done and always feeling like I need to work on it or that it's not perfect. And because of that, that stopped me from doing a lot of writing. And I feel like a lot of people experience this in creative fields. So the idea is just to like celebrate the process, getting started, getting something going. And even if you don't use it at some, it's something you can go back to later and maybe expand on and develop into a piece. But anyway, we are taking submissions. The directions for that is, I think, on their day one post. You just have to email us your piece with the day out of 30. So today would be 28 out of 30, right? Or 28 dash slash 30. And it's cool. And what I'm thinking is for day 30 submission, even if you haven't submitted at all once, send us one thing you wrote this month and we can have a mega post. And it's been really fun, like I said, to read. And I've been forcing myself to write a little something every day, something I really needed to do because, yeah, I've missed writing and it's kind of fun trying new styles, trying to go outside of my own style and try new things, do a lot of, I've been doing odes, tributes to people that I read about or look up to in certain fields like jazz or science or astronomy. Anyway, check that out. Thanks to everyone who's been submitting. Thanks to everyone who's been reading. And again, even if you haven't done anything at all, you can still submit today's post, tomorrow's post, day 30. And then I have more stuff planned for the future, so stick around for that. But we're going to go ahead and continue onward. Sorry, that was a quick commercial, guys, but I definitely encourage you guys to submit some stuff. We're going to go ahead and go to Pittsburgh, and we've got some short fiction from Vale Larkin. So, Vale, welcome to the show. When you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, thank you. Okay. Theoretically, I have a timer on this thing, so hopefully I can keep it under a dull roar. The Wick and the Echo Child. Once there was a village, almost a town, but no longer a hamlet. In it lived the usual sorts of people: brown, pink, laconic, excitable, and various combinations, and it was a mostly happy sort of town. They still had illness and death. They had anger and jealousy at times, and the usual run of sadnesses. There were times when everyone went hungry, and times when it was only a few, stifled in secret for too long before someone noticed and acted and let in the light. So, not a perfect village. The one thing they did have was the wick, as they called it. It is really no unusual thing, but maybe it was stronger there somehow. You might recognize its like in the spark that lights in your chest when you experience a beautiful something or other and find yourself longing to create. It's a kind of magic, but the kind that clings to everything mostly, not only to a grave and chosen few. The wick, they claimed, is what calls the painter to paint, the harper to harp, the farmer to till land and make of it green and glowing life. It is, as I mentioned, a part of everywhere and everyone and every when we come upon. It is the bright hot gleam in the eyes of the world. As is the way in these sorts of villages, they welcomed the occasional stranger to their squares and shops and homes. Travelers coming through were often wont to stay a while, smiling slowly in the still air of the place. A few, though not as few as in other villages, would decide to stay. Their smiles would be wide and astonished as they made their way through the village that lived to the beat of the wick. Something there would call to them, and they would never leave for longer than it took to fetch whatever it was they wanted from their old homes. Then they would rush back, hearts sparking, and begin to do whatever it was that the wick had called up in them. And so there were always new writers, new farmers, wood carvers, and builders. Every flat surface had its freight of paint and glass embellishments, and at midday, when it is best to practice, and at night, music spilled down every street. One day, a man in the village had an idea. This was no stranger, but a man born and bred to that place and its wick. Indeed, it was the wick that had come to him as he had the idea, and that convinced him it was such a fine one. He went to his workshop, for the wick was always strongest in him when he worked with his hands, and he was the kind of tinkerer who keeps hammers and gears and paintbrushes and sundry mechanical oddments always close. After many days of tireless toil, he emerged from the workshop with a sight not quite like any that the villagers had seen. It seemed like a simple box, but once unfolded, it was more like a large doll of some fey species, all cherub cheeks and pointy ears, but with a few bare rivets and copper bits to show that it was artificial. The man said it was important not to believe too hard in his creation. He said it could be dangerous. He said this right from the start. Its operation was simple. First, concentrate on the wick at a thing you would like to create, then press the raised, faceted gem on the Echo Child's right hand. When you do, the child's chest lights up, and an image or a sound emerges, something like what you were thinking, but with little differences and variations that might not have occurred to you on your own. The idea was that the Echo Child would help with exploration, with novelty and newness, which every artist knows can feel sorely lacking at times. The man who built the Echo Child told everyone that it was more like a toy than a real tool. It couldn't actually make anything, and its innovations were thin and flimsy reflections of the real inspirations fed into it. But it was enjoyable to play with. After all, he thought to himself, as more and many came to call on him in his creation, it is plain enough that a drawing of a pear is not a pear. I'll finish up there for today. It's in sections.
All right, that works. Is there anything you want to promote or share, like right now, social media, organization, or anything like that? Oh, okay, cool. That's perfectly fine. Thank you, Vale. As always, appreciate that. I think you cut yourself off pretty early, but I do like the idea of another part coming possibly next week. So be on the lookout for that. That's another thing, guys. If you want to read or share something with us, something that has been done before, are serialized performances. That is, you can break it down week by week. I know Kit probably has the record for that one. I don't know how many weeks you drew out a short story, but hey, it's possible, and it is, as long as we keep track of time. Anyway, speaking of time, let's go ahead and keep this thing going. We're gonna go ahead and come back to El Paso, or as he wrote, or as they wrote today, the remnants of a secret rebel base on Dantooine. Hey, some poetry. That's right. It's time for a poet friend. It is David Latif. David, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away. I'll go ahead and get you on the spotlight here as soon as I find you. There you are. What up?
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I've been trying to the first half of this month, or the first two-thirds of this month, were a lot of desperation, and I felt kind of what I've learned out of this month in writing poems every day has been get angry and start fighting shit. So this is the poem that I wrote today, and I'm going to read a few more about trying to change the world. This one is called Make the Change. I don't like fighting, but it seems like every single day I get into fights with this stupid phrase, well, that's just how it is. To which I respond, for now. Because I've got a can of Krylon Mambo Pink and a bunch of decals I bought on Etsy, and no one is going to stop me from making my car look sick as fuck. You don't have to accept factory settings. You don't have to settle for how you got it. You can make that change, the one you've always wanted, the color of your car, the clothes you wear, the gender you were assigned. All of that can be changed. The next time someone tells you that you can't, saying, well, that's just how it is, get over it, I want you to punch them in the face. Full haymaker, lay them out flat, because they don't have the right to limit what you know is possible. And the moment they lift their head from the floor to say something stupid like, but what about resale value and chromosomes? I want you to kick them in the gut in the gut like a World Cup goalie lobbing the ball across the field, except it's their intestines getting launched into their spine. The world is a canvas with as many layers of paint as there have been people. You have the right to paint it, and you should fight anyone who tries to take that away. This next one, I had an idea before, but Communist Manifesto was already taken by some guy named Carl. Um, so if you think of a good uh, poem title, let me know. I need you to help me because you need me to help you. Because all of this isn't going to be fixed by an individual. It's not even going to be fixed by individuals. It's only going to be fixed by a community of communities, leaning on one another, sharing that weight. You can't save the world, and neither can I, but we can. Um, I'm just going to kind of go backwards through the poems that I wrote. This is called Friends Full of Flowers. My heart is full of flowers picked from the pockets of friends every time we're together. Sunflowers, daisies, dandelions, roses, the warm ones that grow on prickly pears. I shove them into a bird-beaked mask that I wear whenever I have to face the miasma of the rest of the world, because their sugary sweetness overpowers the bitterness of bigotry and the foul stench of fascism. Hellacious hatred can't reach my nose if I have friends full of flowers everywhere I go. Um, I'm gonna scroll up a little bit more. This one also doesn't have a title yet. I've been playing Fallout 4 recently because I got new mods for it that make it better. They don't fix everything, but I can roleplay an original character now, and the damage stats make a bit more sense. But I think Todd Howard is wrong about the post-apocalypse. Because if we survive, I think there's more that we can do than scrounge for whatever's left over. I know for a fact that people will write new music, weave new fabrics, and create new buildings because it's what we've always done. Humans don't just settle for what we're given. Life didn't give us lemons, we made them by combining citron and bitter orange somewhere in India 3,000 years ago. And after we made lemons, we made lemonade. We can build a better world that unimaginative losers like Todd Howard can't fathom. So let's crack the code, mod the files, make new citrus fruits, and prove the fascists and conservatives that they're wrong about humanity. We are not condemned sinners in need of some savior. We will seize the means of salvation and save ourselves together. I'm going to close with one last poem. It's entitled A Poem as a Prompt. Or A Prompt as a Poem, sorry. I want you to imagine the seed of a hope plant. What does it look like to you? Does it look like a seed or does it look like something else? A person, an idea, a Molotov cocktail. When you plant it, what will it grow into? Is it a tree or is it more? What fruits does it bear, literal or metaphorical? Don't let cynicism or pessimism or realism, which is to say cynicism and pessimism, cloud your vision. Now write, and know that writing about it is the first step in making it happen. Thank you so much. You can find me on Blue Sky at Poet Friend. You can find me on Substack at Poetic Universal Friend. Um, Thank you, Richie, for giving us the idea of 30 for 30. It's been super duper helpful. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. It's it's just cool to see you hear you read pieces you've been churning in, like, and especially something personal for me, like enjoying it is has been like getting everyone's emails and like getting the name. I'm like, oh, David submitted, oh, Ball Poet submitted, and getting to kind of read them before everyone else does. It's kind of cool. kind of like at the open mic too, kind of always having like a front row seat to some really cool performances. So like I said, I do have stuff continued in mind to continue this kind of thing, but not as often, but like in the upcoming months. So but yeah, appreciate that. We're gonna go and keep this thing going and get to Lee Martinez Soto, who took some excellent photos at the old sheepdog mic. That was really well done. But yeah, I always look forward to your piece as well. Lee, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away. Hey.
Thank you. So I have two older, not oldest, but older ones, and then a newish one. This first one, I'm gonna keep reading it until also it's not relevant and hopefully soon, but you never know. This is called Si algún día no regreso. If you're not familiar with the different feminist, I cannot pronounce it in English, sorry, feminicidios, feminicides. In Mexico, there is a lot of missing and murdered women in Mexico. There's also been recent findings of dumping grounds of bodies in Mexico as well. So this is about that and having grown in Mexico and having to experience that. First in Spanish, then in English. Let me move it over here. Si algún día no regreso, no gastes tu tiempo buscando mi cuerpo. Te prometo no estar esperando en él. Deja en paz tierra y escombros, tantos lotes baldíos, terrenos y ríos que pudieran ser las fosas de mis restos. Quizás solo encuentres cenizas derramadas entre muchas otras cuyos rostros y nombres ahora viven entre sollozos y afiches. Si algún día no regreso, guarda tu luto entre puños, raya, pinta, destruye y eleva altares sobre sus amados obeliscos, derriba las puertas, rompe ventanas y hazlos tornar su mirada a los rostros de tus fantasmas. Ahoga tu llanto en el aliento iracundo de todas las madres, hermanas e hijas que gritan mi nombre y exigen justicia. Si algún día no regreso, corta cada dedo de cada mano de aquellos que con su maldad han hecho tanto daño. Cercena las lenguas de aquellos quienes en complicidad sus crímenes en silencio han guardado. E ignora calumnias, mentiras, justificaciones que tornan la culpa del criminal al mártir. Si algún día no regreso, no calles, no temas, pues vivo en la fuerza de tu lucha enardecida. If one day I don't return, don't waste your time looking for my body. I promise you I won't be waiting there. Leave dirt and rubble untouched, the many vacant lots, lands, and rivers that could be the graves of my remains. You might only find ashes, spread among many others whose faces and names now live between howls and banners. If one day I don't return, keep your grief between your fists, deface, paint, destroy, and raise altars over their beloved obelisks. Bring down their doors, break their windows, and make them turn their gaze to the faces of your ghosts. Drown your whimpers in the wrathful cries of all the mothers, sisters, and daughters that scream out my name and demand justice. If one day I don't return, sever every single finger on every single hand of those who with their evil have caused so much pain. Rip out the tongues of those who have been complicit of keeping their crimes hidden in silence, and ignore the slander, lies, justifications of those who will turn blame from the criminal to the martyr. If one day I don't return, don't be silent, don't be afraid, for I will live in the strength of your fight. That was the first one. The second one is called Use Your Words. I was young when my mother taught me how to hide. Roll hands into fists, capture the spirit within, swallow it whole and tie it down to the pit of the stomach, and lock away its wordless wails until it burns, until it hurts, until there's nothing left to feel but the absence of it. I was a pro at hiding it, waiting until the door was locked and the house was empty so I could let out the tiniest of wails, suffocated by stuffed animals and pillows. Hurl it from within the deepest recesses until muscle tension clouded vision and blood seeped from broken skin and exposed veins. I was older when I learned self-regulation is supposed to be taught by caregivers, but when all they have known is to hide behind closed doors, bring fists to walls, open palms to skin, muffle screaming into the dead of night, is there anything left that they could teach? I was older when Rach's red inferno would be the only thing I could let resurface, the self-inflicted pain used to silence its tantrums failing, with every passing year of pushing down towards the pit, slamming fists to concrete walls, rusted nails to tender flesh. When nothing else had worked, I sat with it in silence. the aimless creature I created, snapping, thrashing, fighting out of fear. Taught it words used to reveal its inner turmoil. Found that fists can loosen back to open palms. Open veins need not to bleed, and cages often can be broken. I learned that anger is the body's call to action, and so I taught it how to create and not destroy. And then this very last one, I'm gonna try not to cry, but we never know. I lost my baby boy, my little dog, 2 weeks ago, and I wrote this about him. Still, I just published it on Substack. I don't have a real good title for it, so I'm just gonna read it. I stand over the makeshift exam table, cradling his little head and talking to him softly so that he lay still on his side. I understand nothing of what the ultrasound shows, just black and white insides moving with his rapid heartbeat and shallow breathing. He looks at me, eyes wide, unsure and terrified of the stranger holding his legs apart and murmuring in a language neither of us can understand. Human for him, medical jargon for me. Tumor de 16 centímetros. That much I do understand, and my heart speeds up, catching up with his rapid beating, lungs sink into my stomach, matching his shallow breathing. I know we couldn't escape it. The damned cancer. It was bound to come back one way or another, in one body or another. I just wish it was me instead. I look over at him as I fix the bed we set for him in the middle of my mother's living room, playing with his paws, his ears, talking to him with as much energy and softness as I can muster. I understand nothing of what he's thinking as he lays on his side, trying his best to make room for what he carries inside, so that it does not crush his organs. His heart beats steadily, the double drumming of its murmur matching the pace of my own, now found in the pit of my stomach. He looks at me, wide-eyed, and wax his tail softly as I call his name and sing gently the melody I sang ages ago to a brother he never got to meet. I know it deep down, despite not having the results of the many exams he went through in the span of a day. I know it will be back. The damned cancer. I just wish it was me instead. I cradle him in my arms, looking over him as I make the final choice. If you could stop someone suffering at the cost of their life, would you do it? I ask myself that question as I play with his ears, feel the drumming of his heart against my leg, the soft wagging of his tail brushing up against my arm. What is the least selfish choice? I feel my insides churning, my stomach threatening to hurl heart and lungs. When the choice is made and the time comes, he lays on his side, slightly whimpering because of the pressure of the thing growing inside. I lay next to him, holding onto his frail body, singing the song I sang many yesterdays ago, tears falling down as the liquid runs its course. The double drumming slowly fading against my arms, his breathing steadying until it stops. I stand over the makeshift deathbed, cradling his little body and talking to him softly, wide eyes closed for the last time, laying still in a calm sleep. I understand nothing of what happens once the life is gone from the body, but I hope there's something of him that can still hear me and feel the love firing from within me, energy searching for a sign. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh man, yeah, that's rough. Is there anything you want to share or promote as well before you?
But just my Substack, and I have a link tree as well that you can access. I just posted that poem as a final goodbye to my little baby. He's back home. I have his ashes back, so at least I feel that hole in me complete that he is back.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thanks for I saw that post actually as an update. Thank you, Lee, for joining us. And yeah, as always, um I know it was super fresh last Wednesday too, and it's interesting because it's such a universal thing how that night at Writers' Night at Proof and Press kind of that ended up being a little bit of a theme. I noticed how naturally or organically these themes kind of grow from these writers' nights. Because the previous 2 weeks, I think it was like psychedelics and mushrooms and tripping. Yeah, last week was definitely more because that's one of the heaviest things, losing a love like that. Anyway, thanks for sharing that. Completely beautiful memory of that. Um, okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and continue. Sorry, guys, it's kind of tough. I always think of lost ones on my end too. Um, okay, looking at the list. Looking at the list. ASMR mic. This is an ASMR mic now. Okay, we can only whisper. Okay, sorry. Okay, I found it. All right. We're gonna stick around in El Paso, and next up we have the powerhouse that is Robin Schofield. Robin, hello, hello. Happy Monday. When you're
Hey,
ready, go and take
Richie.
it away. All right.
Hi, Richie. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy whatever day of the week it is for you people in the future. I'm going to read a couple of poems, 3 poems actually, but a couple from my new manuscript, and then one I don't know where it goes, but Lee Martinez Soto made me write it. So in their workshop. This one, though, is called Muse of Desert Landscape. Atmosphere, the colors of coyote. Yellowish marble sun flares up in the Martian toned sky. The great Chihuahuan desert rises and rains down, heavy particles and fine that sift through shut windows and doors. Sand, the colors of coyote, brown, gray, tan, tinge of red. Hunger is her best disguise. See her rib cage like walking brain. Voles signal from a yellow hill. Run for your lives, don't tarry under the worm moon. Don't be taken in by the silver sheen of the desert tonight, by atmosphere, the colors of coyote. And this one is called Radical Amazement in the Desert. Take a swing with the pickaxe to break apart the impossible riddle of the caliche soil. So much solid yellow rock, like uranium cakes, but not so dangerous. Feel your deltoid tear as the blade goes flying off the handle. And so do you, cursing your crippled shoulder and broken tool, the hard ground winning again. Take a swing at these dry thoughts in the arid region of your brain, where tilting neurons snag on white thorns and dopamine leaps across the synaptic gaps, gaping like arroyos. To dig up a desert, irrigation is key. And then this poem, yeah, it was in a workshop about Dungeons and Dragons, as I recall, which I know still next to nothing about. So it's called The Hag Asked Me Some Questions. Regrets? Oh, I don't have any except, the one big one or two. Perhaps there are several now I think about it. Anyhow, not many. You see, I do have the vision. Do you see a blighted woodland destroyed by fire, where the deer are bewildered and the grasshoppers have turned black to match the charred land? Yes, I see the flame-scarred forest, grasshoppers flitting like chia on a skillet. What stirs in this land? Fireweed first. New growth hurts. It always has. Look closely, you will see the new green buds tearing apart the still living trees. Some seeds only sprout after the fire. Thus are those the terms. Germination after the fire sweeps clean. There are no terms I can accept from you, I tell the hag. Does it make a difference at this point? The hag and I weep together and hug. Her tears fall on me and scald my arm. My tears fall on her and freeze her ancient skin. I can't break her grasp on me. She is laughing and heaving, and I'm struggling for breath to shout, I haven't accepted your terms or any deals. And she shouts back, every day that you live is on my terms.
Sorry, let me go ahead and get back on here. Hope you're okay, Robin. Get some water. And I don't know if that was the end. If you want to go back after this. Yes. It's happens a lot to me too. So I was trying to keep water or some sort of liquid around. Okay. So really quick, just while we check in, if you want to check in on her kit. If you are watching, welcome to our online open mic. We do this every Monday here on our YouTube channel. So thanks for tuning in with us. And again, if it's your first time, keep coming back. We're here every Monday, and maybe if you want to read, you can sign up to read. You can always sign up. There's a link in the description of these videos, and even more so, you can find other helpful links like our website, our calendar, ways to donate, and if you are an EPCC student looking for Tejano Passport credit, then the directions on how to get that will be here. Just kind of watch, listen, and then write something really quick and email me later a summary. Okay, so I think we will probably move on. That sounded like a rough, yeah, especially when you talk a lot. But let's maybe we can do a part 2 in a bit. But let's go ahead and bring up looking at the list here. Sorry, guys. Back to okay, we're gonna go to Massachusetts. And we have Storm with us, who is gonna share a poem, a cappella songs. Storm, welcome back. Go ahead and take it away. Hello.
Thank you. Well, April, besides being Poetry Month, is also Autism Awareness Month. And so I'm going to start with a poem for my daughter and then do some more general poetry and then a longer piece that I'll say a little bit more when we get near it. Morning questions. How do you mourn the loss of a child who isn't dead, who you long to see more often but can't because you've chosen to move further away in order to live? Because maybe someday things will get better. Maybe someday words like nonverbal, autism, epilepsy, mental retardation, aggression, incontinence, and mood disorders won't get in the way when you seek to dance, jitterbug, or hug her. How do you wake your child with morning time to get up, kiddo, when she's sleeping in another place's bed? My daughter is in a medical home in a different state than where I live. 2 shooting stars. I just called to say hello, to ask how you're doing today. I just called to mention that your name has passed my way. It's been a long time since we parted, and our paths, they've sure traveled far. You've gone and settled down now, while I'm still a shooting star. Sometimes at night when I'm lonely, when I think of times gone by, I see us dancing, laughing, with no teardrops in your eye. They say you are much better, that you fear no more the night. Hope you know had you let me, I'd have never left your sight. Yet you chose not to trust me or believe I loved you true. So I watched you fight the shadows and yearned so much for you. I just called to say hello, to ask how you're doing today. I just called to mention that your name has passed my way. Laughing man. Jump a crooked mile through the silent hoops of time. Let the purple ocean breathe you in an oddly shapen wine. Try to touch tomorrow and hope to understand where the sun burns down on the quiet laughing man. Reach into your pocket for the remedy to age. With 20 million saviors, cast off your golden cage. Don't let the flowers fool you. There's murder in the air, and the silent laughing man is watching everywhere. From his pearly gated towers, he sees the world go by, and all you know for truth is just his other lie. With his angelic casted ones, he brings hope to more than few, yet within his soaking form, the laughing man is through. So the winds drill deeper in my empty molten mind as I reach right past the man towards the hope I wait to find, laughing at the madness in this lowly poet's eye. My last day joins the funeral as I fade at last to sigh. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's this disgusting mayor in California who was calling for a national purge of the homeless by feeding them fentanyl. And that got me to put this poem and song piece together. The poem is mine, as have been everything I've read this far. The poem was written a long time ago. The song was written a long time ago by Phil Oakes, but it's still very, very present. Okay. He could be your paper boy. He could be a clown. He could be someone you knew who's just been beaten down. She could be an old girlfriend. She could be a nurse. She could be a high school queen laying low by some curse. And the shadows flicker in the night, and you hear their shuffling feet as they search through trash to make some cash or pause for something to eat. He could be your neighbor. He could be a friend. He could be a haughty man come to a humble end. She could be a painted lady. She could be a maid. She could be a jilted lover headed towards her grave. And the whispers echo in the night, and you hear their creaking loads as they search the skies to feed their eyes or sigh for someone to hold. He could be her father. She could be my mum. This could be the future of your daughter or your son. And the whispers echo, and the shadows flicker as another morning dawns. There's no place in this world where I'll belong when I'm gone. I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone. And you won't find me singing on this song when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't feel the flowing of the time when I'm gone. All the pleasures of love will not be mine when I'm gone. My pen won't pour a lyric line when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I won't breathe the bracing air when I'm gone. And I can't even worry about my cares when I'm gone. Won't be asked to do my share when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't be running from the rain when I'm gone. And I can't even suffer from the pain when I'm gone. Can't say who's to praise and who's to blame when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Won't see the golden of the sun when I'm gone. And the evenings and the mornings will be one when I'm gone. Can't be singing louder than the guns while I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. All my days won't be dances of delight when I'm gone. And the sands will be shifting from my sight when I'm gone. can't add my name into the fight when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't be laughing at the lies when I'm gone. And I can't question how or when or why when I'm gone. Can't live proud enough to die when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. There's no place in this world where I'll belong when I'm gone. And I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone. And you won't find me singing on this song when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it. I guess I'll have to do it. Guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Do I have time for one or two more pieces, or where am I?
You're at about
Yeah.
7:30, so I think, yeah. Yeah,
More,
7:59. Sorry.
I guess we'll save it for next time. Yeah.
Okay,
Cool. Thank you, Storm.
yep.
Thanks for coming through. Or
Pray
I guess
for
through your name.
democracy.
Yes. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. And true to your name, I should say thanks for rolling through, Storm. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's take a look at the list. We are going to go from Massachusetts, so Storm, back to El Paso, where we've got Ed Gonzalez back on the mic. Ed, good to see you again. When you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Boy, so far as always, amazing reading and writing. I'm just grateful to be here and participate and BWOMS because this is amazing, amazing stuff. Let's see. I have one piece that I've read before, but I'm working on it. I believe I submitted it for 3030. I'm still working on it. And I also got one from Sid's Tumblewords, which was awesomeness. Thank you, Sid. That was freaking amazing. And I have two covers. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump on it because let's see, I gotta get this done. Okay, and this one is entitled The Nine. Having crossed to the other side, you turn your head, wanting to look back, but a pile of salt I want not to be. I have been on this road before, and I vowed never to return. But thanks to carefully placed triggers, placed there by me, now returned. I can feel again, not merely where the joy was a world away, but because it's a hard crawl through the rocky unending trail and plunged into a bottomless red sea of anxiety. Once there, nothing, no time, no time but future and past to comprehend. But on the other side, your Moses-like stratagems got you through, and a hard-fought, crushing wisdom is found. Though burnt to a crisp once you traverse the 9 levels of hell. But that's no way to live. Believe me, I know. So breathe in joy, a joy like no other. Stay in the present, be a beacon for all to follow your light. And that's something I've been working on. And this is my my tumble words I've entitled Sense of Heart. Senses is our tool for our gray matter to decipher our experience, trigger neurons that especially fond for us, especially the males in our family, as our father, my father was my primary cooking teacher, and we would gather items from the hills across the street and certain plants and their smells, developing our canine skills. I use today tending my compost pile and tumblers, as well as worm castings, making sure things are good. It takes me more to a recent time when I cooked with my sons. Both from a very young age seemed to be very interested in cooking, and more than my daughter and my wife. They seem happy to find something else to do. My heart, now my heart health is connected to our weekly Zoom meetings with my middle son. We cook online, and I tell him I could almost smell that chicken marsala during his demonstration from another state. A true sense of smell for my heart and my health. All right. And these ones are for some recent books that I've acquired. This one from a book put together by Ada Limon. This one is by a writer called Ruth Awad. And I've been finding so many goals here. Reason to live. Because you can't survive the violet night, you can survive the next, and the fig tree will ache with sweetness for you in the sunlight that arrives. First, at your window, quietly pawning, even when you can't stand it, and you'll heavily whining floorboards of your house filled with animals. As you hurt and lost to you, the bearded iris will form fully in their roots, their golden manes swaying with the want of spring. Live, 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 live. One day you'll put your hands to the earth and you'll understand an afterlife isn't promised, but spray of scorpion grass keeps growing, and the dog will sing with their whole bodies in praise of you, and the little red buds will lay down their pink crowns, and the rivers will set their stones and ribbons at your door. If only you'll let the world soften you with its touching. Anyway, that was Ruth Awad, and I got it from Ada's book. This next one I actually got, it's actually a quote from Susan Salzberg, one of my favorite people in this universe. Super wonderful person. One of my teachers from way back. This one entitled Be Your Own BFF by Kia Brown. And the book of her book is called The Pretty One. The most amazing thing about my life now is that my own view of myself, the black disabled girl from a town no one knows, the name of, has changed. I like me so much that when I think about it, I giggle. I've got a crush. And when I smile, it feels like the sun is filling up my body so that when I move around, I can light it up. I like me so much now that I know I don't need to be the best or the prettiest person that anyone meets. I just need to be me. That's enough. The world at large is still clinging to ableist and harmful ideas of disabled people. But still, I can't allow myself to let opinions of a culture influence my whole view of the way they did before. I have too much left to do, and I have too much it's too much damn hard to get here. So the rest of the world will have to catch up, whether it wants to or not. Anyway, that was a piece I got from that book. Just want to thank BWOMS. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I'm going to sit back and listen to some of the great writing and reading going on. Just want to mention my Substack, Ed Gonzalez Jedi, and Blue Sky. Also want to mention again the El Paso Poetry Workshop group. We're on Facebook. If you get a chance, stop by. And thank you very much. Thank you, Richie. Back to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Master Jedi Ed, for that. Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, check out that workshop, the poetry workshop group. If you have a chance, there is a link on Facebook. I can find it and forward it in a bit if you want. But we're gonna go ahead and keep this night moving along because we have a lot more people signed up. Once again, if you're just tuning in, this is our online open mic. It's like any other open mic, except it's online. So if you want to perform or join us from the comfort of your homes or offices or your bedrooms, then yeah, there might be some time at the end of the night. We still have a couple spots open. If not, we're here every Monday. All right. Anything else you might want to know? You can find it in the description of this video. All right. We're going to go ahead and travel to Malaysia, where we have Julian Matthews ready to go. And while I find him on the screen, let me make sure that I have the screen share option open. Hey, Julian, welcome back. Good to see you. Welcome back. And whenever you're ready, take it away. Sorry.
Hi. Yeah, okay. This one is called Iggy Muse. Iggy Muse. Will it help if you think of me as just another scrambled egg? Or poached, bleeding choleric yellow from your poetic head? A broken dread, the shell of a man that tread into your pan? Fish out my bits then by hand, or roll me into a soggy, cheesy omelette, or ugly cry, and whisk me into a bitter batter, chilled overnight, swirled in a skillet the next day, the non-stick that stuck around. Vote me, coat me with your buttery pain, then spit into the spatula, stretch me to the edges of your sanity, flip me browned and served with whipped cream, banana, and Nutella, honey, the crap, the crepe I already am. Revenge can sometimes be a dish best served warm. The second one is called Coral. Thank you. I've had enough, haven't you? Of being fired up, burnt, left to atrophy, backslide, decline like a lump of coal. The vessel of my heart is non-stick, shut like a clamshell with no room for any fragment of you, no nacre, no pearlescent to coat into a gem. My yearning is slag, gravel, rubble at the bottom of the ocean, awaiting a passing polyp to secrete chalky calcium to harden it from the outside. A reef of grief protected from this drowning. Charcoal kept dry may last a long time, but coral lives for centuries, long enough perhaps to end this longing, this hollow iciness until temperatures rise again, warms a crusty soul, and defies the bleaching that cometh. Thank you, that's it.
Cool. Thank you, Julian. And I'll make sure here as well to forward your link tree. As always, love the format. Forgetting to share your pieces. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move from Malaysia to South Carolina, and I think he's here. He was going in and out of the room. I think he's here. We got Warren, our swaggy, back in the house. Yo, man, long time no see, huh? How you doing? All right, you're muted.
First and foremost, before I get started with my poem, I want to ask Richie a particular question. Where on God's green earth have you been, buddy? I haven't seen you since the movie Field of Dreams was released. God damn it. But yeah, anyway, it's good to see you. It's good to see everybody. I haven't been here in a while. I've been busy with work and recording music and everything. So my apologies for not being here as often. But yeah, with that said, I do have one poem that I'm going to share. So if you guys bear with me while I get that up. Okay, so this poem that I'm about to read, this is actually a poem that I did last month for Women's History Month, and I figured I'd, read it again. So this is called She Was, She Is, She Will Be. She was there, barefoot in the dust of 1,000 battles, skirt hem soaked in the sweat of fields she did not own. Her hands raw from the weight of picket signs and plow handles, gripped the edges of history, pulling it toward her like a stubborn thread. They wrote her out of the story, but she pressed ink to paper, pressed footprints into roads where no woman had walked before, pressed her voice into the air until it cracked open the sky. She is here, spine straight under the weight of expectation, heels clicking against marble floors, boots sinking into the soil of land she now calls her own. She stitches wounds with steady hands, writes laws with the same fingers that once curled into fists. She feeds, she builds, she leads, a quiet rebellion in the way she simply refuses to break. She will be a name carved into the bones of tomorrow, a shadow stretching past the horizon, a flame catching on the hem of a new world. She will stand at the edge of invention, her hands steady on the wheel of what's to come, eyes sharp as a blade against the spine of fate. She will not ask permission. She will not wait her turn. She rises. She has always risen. She will rise again. Thanks.
All right, man. Thank you. How can people follow you online if they wish to do so?
All my info will be in the chat, so be on the lookout.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. That's I love that piece a lot. Stands at the edge of invention. I think that's a line I heard. Very cool. Um, okay. We're gonna keep this going. In fact, we're gonna stick around the area and go to Bossier City, Louisiana, where we have some poetry this time around, and possibly a song manifest. We got Not Nito returning back. Hey man, good to see you again. Take it away when you're
Hey,
ready.
what's up, everybody? How are y'all? It's good to be here. Shout out Richie, BWOM, everybody. I wrote a longer poem. Uh, Hopefully, it's not too rude and crude for everybody. Um, it's called "Label Me as a Poet of Sorts." Um, Take all of your fancy words and shove them straight up your anal canal. Are you thinking, oh wow, why can't we all just be one, like a unibrow? Go ahead and throw tomatoes at the end of the show. I'm still taking a bow. Just remember, there's always an asshole lurking behind you with an opinion to release in your bowels. And I bet you want to put duct tape on my mouth. No, I'm not a mind reader. I just read you. I read you like a book I won't finish. Eager to seed my thought upon vibe eaters in high places, inept smiles with dry faces, showcasing more imperfections than a run on sentence. My thoughts scatter across gray matter on white pages are the remains of scribble that most nights will go unfinished, swallowing up space like a black hole, your time presently in my control. The transcripts of my scripts are non-refundable, non-returnable. My speech seeds and sprouts, my roots feed and douse, igniting your mind to spark interest. My time is worth more than you can afford, so put a fork in your horn until my meetings adjourn. I'm just writing. I'm just trying to cup the cusp of life with my remaining tolerance, which probably is the size of a worm's dick. Engorge in these syllables as you feast on my self loathing passed on as confidence. I will starve you for my attention. My worth since birth equivalent to the price of a few mansions. It's no coincidence that poetry is the love of my life. Never making it a job, I'd lose interest. My mouth keeps writing checks that it actually could cash at the bank and still gain interest. My rhymes birth sound like intercourse or a notification from Pinterest. So shut the fuck up and don't interrupt, or I might erupt from an inner voice projecting my sweet melodic tune embedded with a bitter poison. I'm that diamond that lay tucked snug inside an oyster, created to be just the way I was created to be, uncensored, uncivilized, unwilling to conform to the norms of society, sparkling ever so freely, reciting my spoken words playfully, waiting to be found and valued gracefully as I laugh at your distaste for me. However, if you must label me as a poet of sorts. And that's what I'm all I'm going to read tonight. So, yeah, appreciate you.
Okay. Any social media you want to plug for us real quick?
Yeah, I'll put it up in the link.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, someone's selling Bibles door to door, so Richie just got back. Okay, good. But we just to let y'all know, we always have a plan.
All right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was actually trying to grab a book for later. Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you, Nanito. I thought you were gonna do the song too, but yeah, definitely link stuff so we can share that. And let's keep this thing going. Wow, very southern set right now. We're gonna stick around and go to Florida, Gainesville, Florida, that is, where we have Lycan up next on the mic. Take it away when you're ready, man. Hello, hello. No, we can't hear anything.
Duh. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, the glint of your harmonica looks super cool.
Cool. So you guys ever go to the library and just kind of, you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know even why you're there, but somehow you just find this amazing book? And so that kind of happened to me. It was always a great experience I want to share with you, called The Tale of One Bad Rat by Brian Talbot. So I just want to read the introduction to this book, and then after that I have a song. There have been rats in Brian Talbot's kitchen for longer than I can remember. I don't mean the kind that scratch around under the floorboards, dodging traps and ignoring poison, and finally being dispatched by a couple of council workers with a quick eye and a cricket bat. Brian's rats have been bright-eyed little charmers with their own immaculate quarters and a taste for boiled rice and chapati, which is like a tortilla. Their owner has become well acquainted with their ways too. Very few visitors can have left the house without concluding that over the years rats have had a pretty one-sided press. Vermin, plague bearers, traditional objects of terror, rats like wolves have been forced to carry a certain burden of the human imagination. When a rat dives across the path of someone out walking and surprises them, it's never a rat of normal size. In the retelling, it's always at least the size of a cat. A squirrel on the lawn is something to smile at, but stick it on all fours and shave its tail, and there's an instant pucker factor. Ever since we lived in caves, we've had to demonize something out there. And after a while, it's as if demons are the only truth we can know. We're born into a world that's full of such received ideas, automatic ways of seeing things, and they surround us as we grow. They're hard to question. The world tends to resist having its assumptions challenged, and its nonconformist thinkers have been given a hard time throughout history. It's much easier to accept the general line. Do otherwise and you are a rebel. You're weird, and the weird and rebellious are always suspect. So how do you handle it, then, if you happen to be brought up in an atmosphere of certainty that the demon is you? That's how it can be when you're a child if the adults in your life can't be relied upon, and they seem to get consolation out of projecting their inadequacies onto you. I don't know why it's such a human trait to react to feeling badly by looking for someone weaker that you can make feel worse, but there it is. In every generation, there is this urge among a number to damage the next. Sometimes because it makes them feel better, sometimes just because they can. And children, of course, believe what they're told. They're credulous in the most open way because they simply haven't the data to know otherwise. Make them think that they're guilty, and they'll wonder what it is they did. Let them think they're worthless, and they'll assume it must be a true valuation. Bad rats. All. When a soul has been starved in this way and kept in darkness, its only hope lies in making its own journey out there. And when the darkness is your entire world, even starting such a journey requires a faith in yourself that can be hard to muster. Thank you. Okay, I hope this works. If it doesn't, you can stop me while I go. Feeling a bit off tonight, but I showed up anyway, so I encourage you to show up for all the things, no matter how you're feeling. This song's called Stars and Stripes and Strife. Thank you. I have a Bandcamp called Like and Germ, if you want to check it out. It's a much better version of that song, I assure you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, man. I love it. Love the harmonica banjo combo. It's a classic. All righty then. We're gonna go ahead and continue on. Let me check in on YouTube peeps. Hey Sandy, how's it going? Ed, we got Andres there and Marilu. Hello, hello. Again, if you guys are tuning in, say hello. Let us know you're here. Even if you're an EPCC student, say hi, you know. We're gonna go ahead and come back to El Paso for this. And next up we have Mr. Monday Night. That's right. That's right. He hosted this past Thursday at Old Sheepdog. As always, thank you so much for that. And hosts here every now and then. But of course, you know him through Tumble Words. Without further ado, it is time for Kit Ren. What's up, man?
Hey, hey. Yeah, I hosted Old Sheepdog. Um, it would be a mistake to say I was flying solo though. We had Tony Ramirez doing sound, and he was a dream. He did great. So it was as always, it's a team effort because everything's a team effort. No one does anything alone. What are you, stupid? What are you, high? Everyone's helping everyone. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna get three of mine and then the cover. Fun. We late last night, last week, we were all talking about desert poems. So this is mine. I have a confession disguised as a question. Has the desert spoiled all other outdoor settings for you too? Do forests seem to you a claustrophobic compromise between the indoors and the outdoors, unsatisfying as most compromises are? How could this actually be outside if I can't see the entire sky? Does the ocean seem showy and excessive, gaudy, like plastic jewelry on an otherwise fine hand? To have all this undrinkable water feels like somebody made a mistake and then didn't care enough to correct it. We are a dry land, but what we find is potable. Did the hill country underwhelm you too? Were you tempted to laugh at all of the hill people who went around instead of over and through? Well, they would think us mad. But I'll never make the mistake of caring what they think again. Does every green field, no matter how wild, take on the manicured unreality of a golf course? I am tired, friend, of this world of driving ranges. You and I will spread our picnic blanket in the sand trap and throw back every Titleist that blunders in. That's an old one, so I have to scroll down a bit to get to the other ones. Little secrets of the trade I'm teaching you. I haven't done this one in a while. I remember a man at the Black Orchid Lounge who whispered to me like a fellow conspirator that poets are persecuted. That he was proud to be a poet among poets in a dangerous time to be a poet. When he was arrested later that night, it was for public urination, not public verse. When I saw him a few weeks later, he was now a stand-up comedian. His set was mostly about animal mutilation. And he told me, with the pride of a new homeowner signing the contract, that comedians were the last truth tellers. And he was proud to be a comedian, even as they were persecuted. His set was mostly about animal mutilation. The other comedians blackballed him for plagiarism. I guess he finally got his wish. Martyrs of the world, take heart. One day you will find a cross small enough. I could say if I wanted to, with a visionary intonation, that I need to do this. And I do find it necessary, but not like a calling, like a chore. I was not touched by God, eaten by the sun, or bitten by a radioactive spider. This is not a mission. This is laundry. I want clean clothes, so there are things I have to do. I want to know what I think, so there is a process I must follow. Easy or hard, good or bad, what does that matter to me? Who's going to do it for me? You? Have you met the people I met who think that they were meant for this? That guy was weird. Okay. Last one of mine. The advent of democracy and nationalism has been nothing short of disaster for the fantasy realms. Having so many princes and princesses who managed to avoid the wave of 1848 by sheer confusion ran instead into the problem of elite consolidation. Nobody is sure if this is a civil war or just the regular kind. But it takes a lot less effort, they're finding, to slay their fellow princes than it did dragons. This is not, however, something the princesses have wanted to reward. It's a small community, and you're going to step on somebody's toes, or garrote somebody's cousin. Rapunzel has given up her titles of state and become an influencer, managing a business empire that began with an abandoned trunk full of bumpets. The fantasy realms are experiencing our kitschy nostalgia for the first time, and taking to it like East Germans guzzling Mountain Dew with every meal. The first of its kind ever after Parliament promises to balance the new freedoms with a sensible order, but that too has had its complications. Like the ambassador they sent to the United Nations. We tell him he cannot be credentialed until he gives us a name. But he laughs and makes us guess, one at a time. It's been 3 weeks. We're up to Egypt. If anyone mentions straw or gold to the ambassador from Uruguay, I fear he'll slit their throat. And for my cover, I went to the great Anne Carson, which is 5. Here is my propaganda, 11111 on your forehead like droplets of luminous sin, rather, by Anne Carson. Like many a wife, I boosted the husband up to godhood and held him there. What is strength? Opposition of friends or family merely toughens it. I recall my mother's first encounter with him. Glancing at a book I'd brought home from school with his name inscribed on the flyleaf, she said, "Well, I wouldn't trust anyone who calls himself X." And something exposed itself in her voice. A babble thrust between us at that instant, which we would never learn to construe. Taste of iron, prophetic. Her prophecies all came true, although she didn't mean them to. "Well, it's his name," I said, and put the book away. And that was the first night I was 15. I raised my bedroom window creak by creak and went out to meet him in the ravine, trapezing till dawn in the drenched things and avowals of the language that is alone and first in mind. I stood stupid before it, watched its old gods and Lieblicher blues abandon themselves like peacocks stepping out of cages into an empty kitchen of God. God or some blessed royal personage, Napoleon, Hirohito. You know how novelist Ue describes the day Hirohito went on air and spoke as a mortal man. The adults sat around the radio and cried. Children gathered in the dusty road and whispered bewilderment, astonished and disappointed that their emperor had spoken in a voice. Looked at one another in silence. How to believe God had become human on a designated summer day? Less than a year after our marriage, my husband began to receive calls from a woman late at night. If I answered, she hung up. My ears grew hoarse. "How are you?" "No." "Maybe." 8. "Can you?" The white, "Oh, yes. Yes." What is so ecstatic, unknowable, cutthroat glad as the walls of the flesh of the voice of betrayal, yet all the while laughed and talk more dull than the tick of a clock. A puppy learns to listen this way, sting in the silver. Oe says, many children were told, and some believed, that when the war was over, the emperor would wipe away their tears with his own hand. Congratulations to the Canadian government for not electing too many lunatics. And remember to support Governor Knife. But yes, and also come to the Tumblewords Project. This Saturday it will be Lee Martinez Soto with the Fable Talking Stick. rest of the month is planned out. Ivy Magana, a reformed comic, as I like to call them, remembers fondly coming to Tumblewords as a teen and young adult, and she jumped at the opportunity to lead one when I offered it. So she'll be hosting May 10th. Bill Sparks will have our traditional Memorial Day workshop on May 17th, and May 31st, Rachel Cachete will make their return to Tumblewords. They have not given me a title yet, but they have my full implicit trust. I'm a friendly guy. I'm a trusting guy. And yes, we have Mona, we have Crown of Crows. It's a pretty cool week going on in the Tumblewords, in the BWOMS universe. And we will send it back to Richie right now.
All right, thank you, Kit. Appreciate that. Yeah, check us out at any of those venues. Check out Tumblewords online Saturdays. All right, we're gonna keep this going. Next up, we have Melody in the house who made it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you are here. Always a treat to hear your work. Without further ado, and with the coolest sketch too, by the way. That's super cool looking. Melody, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, if you can get Kit to come up with a compilation, we had to make up entire poetry nights just to get Richie and Kit just to get from behind backstage and read their poems. So if you guys can make them do that, that would be great. So as a continuation from last time, my reparenting, reparenting early adult age dirtbag. Think about all the work that you've done, the life you've worked this long for, trials you've won, wisdom gathered, the future you have masoned from the piedras de oro, the life breathed into every human connection, those little joys, the birth of a new smile, independent hearts ablaze. Are you going to keep letting these motherfuckers take those away from you? All you've worked your ass for? I'm not using it. I'm not abused anymore because I stand face to face with anyone who steps up to me, and streets still smell of my fight. From when gentle was spit back into mine to blind, I'm not bullied anymore because I go eye for eye, and then I serve, and then I serve, and then I serve. Shame-driven gluttony, hold the shame. I'm not sad as much anymore because I limit who gets to water this tree, and my dirt is going to be used to fertilize only these feet. Shit isn't always a bad thing to be covered in, and everyone's got theirs. Mine is potpourri, seasons of fallen leaves in various states of decay, dried hair-thin skeletons, debris. Winter, spring, summer, fell. Necessary vigilance preventing erosion, climbing further underground. Every season creating new quilts to keep my roots warmed, humble, and strong, feeding an impregnable canopy. I'm not oppressed anymore because when my heart stops beating, I know I may have gone down, but someone will remember me, etched and stoned. I exhumed an old piece that I did at Tumblewords a while back. We went fishing once. I don't think it had a name at the time. We went fishing once. Just the once for fun, not dinner. The tip of a hunting knife scraped on the table around where my children stood to watch the wet, soft, red tissue swell and fall and swell. Look, the heart, it's still beating. Beating, beat, 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 and then it wasn't anymore. I'm not even a good cook. All parties, one simply binging from my hook, bit off more than we could chew, an end for one, and for the rest, as much replenishment as a few scaled ounces can provide. Me crying because Walmart's frozen section allows me to forego all of the labor of my sustenance. But this time I was introduced to mortality. Mm. And then I have just a short one that made me giggle. I had a thought while I was working with one of our patients, and it just made me giggle. Through my eyes. A fellow human, face to face, you think I hold wisdom that you don't? I only hold patterns. With you, if you trust me to. Take some of your labor so you can rest a little. And we sit as two in this third space, not yours, not mine. We're children, bellies down in front of a fireplace, jigsaw puzzle piecing together a new precious pigeonhole that is ours and yours and mine. And the only difference between you and me right now is that you asked for help. Sometimes I sit too long in my own help that it begins to sour. But you're brave because you still walk eyes to horizon and speak for yourself. And you walk with your heart, even if your mind has a smaller step. That level of cognitive inertia is fucking mind blowing. We are all collaborators of destiny, creators of lives worth living. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Melody. And is there anything you want to promote? I know last time you were talking about your project.
I do a lot of so with our nonprofit Square Peg, we do a lot of advocacy and workshops for individuals who are needing to advocate for themselves or help somebody else advocate. I'm a little bit overwhelmed right now, so but always willing to hear out a case. We've never charged and never plan on it. We take donations only or grants. So if you ever need just a little bit of help or some community support behind what you're doing, I'll put the email and work phone number in the chat.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Melody. As always, appreciate the work that you do, both creatively and for the people and community. Thank you. All right. Sorry, I don't know why I was whispering that. How's everyone doing? How's your Monday going? It's kind of, as always, the madness all around us. We try and stay close as community and our creations. Okay, we are gonna go ahead and travel up a little bit northeast from here, and we have a long time regular, probably one of the longest running performers that we've had here on this mic. And if you've been tuning in, you already know. Without further ado, joining us in Washington, D.C., we have Mr. Ed, Poetastic Ed. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. When you're ready, take it away.
Thank you, my brother, like no other, with words like thunder. Hello, my name is Ed Potastic, one for the fantastic. Please time to join my rhyme. 5 Sublime. I got 6 dad jokes and 3 poems, so I won't take too much time. Thanks, Ed. All right. What did the horse said after it tripped? Helped. I've fallen and I can't giddy up. What do you call 2 monkeys that share an Amazon account?
I don't know what.
Primates. Did you hear about the actor who broke his leg on stage?
No.
He's still in the cast. What kind of drink can be bitter and sweet?
What kind?
Reality. What did the police officer say to his belly button?
I don't know. What'd he say?
You're under a vest. Why are libraries so tall?
Why are they tall?
Because they have many stories. Well, that's it. That's the end of the joke for you folks. But please come back next time. I got more jokes in store for an encore. Hope that tickled your funny bones. Well, this is a classic. I wish Generalissimo was here. He loved this. I know Mike's gonna love this. This is called. Do, 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 the Haveland, do, do. Huh. Sorry about that. Let me see. Sorry.
Yo, Ed, I think you're getting cut off by the Zoom software. I don't know if you're too close to your mic or something. It's like yeah, it's cutting off your voice, so it's like we can't hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
To the American people, the heirs have landed. Look advanced and evil. Oh my God, look heavy-handed. The quick coming down. UFOs cover the skies. They don't make any sounds. Oh my God, the dark in the eyes. Look skinny and frail. They will meet our leader. I say more. Talk. My point is stricken. The temple is strong. The is strong. Now please stop the shots. Looks to be strong. There's going to be a man with I got that sold out. Now the life. The package of it. I'm to the Oh, the next one is called. This is from 30 to 30 Challenge. This is from um Regato Castanets. Do, 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 do. We play a daily sport. We play till we hurt. The sport of crazy life. The fruit of rough strife. The progress down our face. Cheering of a warm grace. The player with nothing to lose. The good fortune for you to choose. I know what you're thinking. Before your mind keeps shrinking. You're clearly adapting on your feet. You hate the feeling of defeat. You memorize complex patterns. You embrace failing concerns. Your boss's random penalties. Your growth of specialities. The maneuvering of traffic. The rebound of frantic. The obstacles of the goal. The challenges of the soul. the bad luck of the referee, the penalties of the tragedies, the energy of great teamwork, the bronze of two-faced smirks, the admiration of the crowd, the melodies sung so loud, the rebunctious of mascots, the adrenaline of your hip shots, the applause of the cheerleaders, the weeping cries of your defeaters. You feel the rush of the sport, playing on life's bumpy court. If you fail, please get back up. Don't worry, it's only a tiny stub. You're going to lose each time, but victory is never far behind. It gets repeatedly harder and harder. You get more sharper than darker. Keep on believing in yourself. Keep on improving in oneself. You're not playing on your own. You're not alone. It's in your bones. Life can be mercifully unforgiving, but the game and fans keep on singing. Thank you. And this is a wonderful one. This is called Oda. Do, 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 do. Let's celebrate you for everything you do. Thank you very much. It's okay to openly blush. Why are you thanking me? You're the ode in my poetry. I personally don't know you, but I'm not Sally Blue. I don't know your name. Yes, but I'm not ashamed. Do you know the rain that washed away the pain? Do you know the sun who is the pinnacle of fun? Do you know the earth never stopped giving birth? Do you know the wind that tickles your chin? Do you know the sea that's balanced and free? Do you know the seeds that grows for your needs? Do you know the stars shooting near and far? Do you know your house or that pesky little mouse? I'm trying to prove a point. I don't have a PowerPoint. You know what I mean? Please be more green. I'm showing you love, and the skies rain down above. I know I sound strange, but I'm not deranged. I'm not high on weed or blinded by greed. I'm not selling you anything because love or nothing. Don't be too judgmental. It's about heart, not mental. I'm showing my appreciation. You're a perfect model of creation. You're not perfect, but you try. You're a lovely woman or guy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ed. How can the fine people find and support you online?
Well, you can follow me and support me online. Well, come to this wonderful open mic that makes my light such the delight in the wonderful, fantastic spotlight. All right. But you will follow if you want to follow me, please for free. My Facebook's Eddie Foreman and my IG's Eddie from 92. And remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to shine my fantastic insight. If you send a request, you take guess. The answer is yes. But I hope everyone stay healthy, safe, and blessed. Now stop spewing the one words outside your chest. Now stop feeling and doing and being your best. And always remember that you're more important than you ever know. Don't stop your glow and never stop your flow. If you don't know, now you know. I love this show.
As always, beautiful. Love the outro. It's become somewhat of a bonus poem, if you will. And like I said, if you know the lyrics, you can sing along. Okay, cool. Hey, Sue Schnitzer on the YouTube channel. What's up? Good to see you. I know I got your note about the classes. So yeah, you just got here. Sue has her own Substack as well, and has also been contributing to our 30 for 30 challenge from time to time. All right, Dan, are you ready? Dan the man. Up next, Mr. Daniel Tennessee Jr. That is his name, but really he is Dan the man. Yeah? All right, without further ado, to close this out, as always, it's Dan. Ready? Take it away.
Yep. How's everybody doing tonight? Give me a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay. There we go. All right. Well, since our final Monday of the poet of the National Poetry Month, which would be the final, which would be Wednesday, the last day of the National Poetry Month, and the Autism Awareness Month. Yeah, that's a good run. Now, Thursday starts
Mental Health Awareness Month. Looking forward. Next Sunday, Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. Next Monday, el 5 de Mayo. Yeah, it's the day we celebrate May 5th. For el 5 de Mayo. In less than 2 weeks could be Mother's Day. Yeah. So anyway, that's the old chip of the block. Chip of the wood block. Don't expect this TikTok. It's just sleepwalk or it's just spacewalk. Or according to Michael Jackson, who does the moonwalk. It's just a shell shock and a double talk. Yeah. Just like in a writer's block. It's like culture shock. And the mental block. And according to Bugs Bunny, what's up, Doc? Well, we put the poetry in the docket, but I think words is in the locket. But yeah, but it's just like National Poetry in Your Pocket Day, the day of poetry in your pocket. We need the skyrocket, and they have a new star in the wall socket. But there's always Miami Vice. Yep, Don Johnson's character, Sonny Crockett. Yeah, yeah. Okay. But even though the bottle, the Aristotle. So even though we said we need to throw a throttle in the model. As it's always the title. Okay. Well, I know the stagecoach already happened. Aside from Coachella, there's the reapproach, and I don't know if there's Papa Roach, but I know one coach. And even though we're still pro, but on the word, there's always a wardrobe and the words all around the globe. Okay. So here it is, National Poetry Month. Yeah, a final Monday. All right. And next Monday, próximo viernes, el 5 de Mayo. So, okay. Well, and before that, on Sunday, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And then, but first, the start of Thursday, Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. You can follow me on Instagram and get my latest episodes on Data Man's Weekly on YouTube. # Data Man's Weekly. All right, with this light and no fight and plain sight. All right, Richie, let's go ahead and call it a night.
So excited about it, Dan. Okay. Actually, I got a couple pieces I'll share. Thanks to everyone who performed, and tuned in on YouTube with us. Hey, what's up, Kayla? We got Sue, like I said. Again, if you are a student tuning in, just you can go, by the way, if you missed something, you can actually go back and rewind. All this is a replay. I'm gonna share two of my poetry month pieces that I quite like. It just happens sometimes. There was stuff like, okay, this could be something, and I wouldn't have gotten them if I didn't kind of force myself into the habit of writing something every day. So let's see. This one I actually finished writing last Monday in the after party. This one's called Meditation Number 33. In the desert, you can see the storm for miles across the plains, with a heavy blessing of rain disguised as darkness. Thunder breaks the heat wide open, rattling the earth's bare ribs, shaking loose the ancient dust of dreams we forgot we dreamed. Lightning flashes and crashes along the ink-blotted sky. The desert grins in ocotillo and barrel cactus, leans back and drinks it all in like raw fire in a cracked cup. Pain can be a river if you write it right and let it sing you somewhere new. Okay. So yeah, that one was interestingly enough, we were talking about like the desert, so it helped me finish that piece. All right, this one's called a waltz. It's fast. I build poems on bar napkins, ideas spilling faster than whiskey droplets. And despite the blur, something clicks in the chaos, lines up just long enough to make something real. All right. And this is an ode I wrote. Big jazz fan. And I decided I wanted to write a little bit of a tribute or an ode to Buddy Bolden. If you've studied jazz history, Buddy Bolden is an interesting figure because he didn't have any recordings or not really anything. He just, people told his story of him in Louisiana and New Orleans playing his horn. He played before jazz even had a name, so that's what this is. It's called the King of Jazz for Buddy Bolden. They say Bolden blew the walls down, cornet like a brass sunrise, raw and loud and holy, bold and unapologetic. No recordings, just the memory of sound so wild it bent the air. His horn was a spark before jazz had a name, a shout in the silence that taught the city to sway. And even now, in midnight sessions and back alley bars, in the soft wail of solos carried on smoky winds, his echo rides the downbeats, alive in every note that dares to break free. All right. And to kind of go off of that theme and a lot of themes I've heard tonight, this is my cover poem to end it. I already have my cap on. This is a book I read from all the time, a love song, a death rattle, a battle cry. There's so many great poems, songs, and many essays in here that I just draw a lot of inspiration from it. This one's called To Young Leaders. And I heard a lot of the guys talking about this stuff today, and we'll continue to talk about this stuff. You know what? I better drink something, so because I felt my throat trying out that last one. Okay. To young leaders. So here's what you can expect. A burlap sack with a dollar sign on it or a check. They'll throw it at your feet and ask you to dance. They'll point rocket launchers at your feet and ask you to dance. I never danced, proud to play the wall and leave early. Riding shotgun with Cersei. Watch for the pigs. Watch for the cigarette vendors. Watch for the bread and circuses, and remember, everything's for sale and everything will kill you, so don't buy it. Remember who supplies it. Their teeth are syringes, eyes are blood diamonds, shining the patron saint of gun violence. Remember, a poem is worth more than a prayer. A prayer is a quiet conversation. A poem is an incantation, a fireball from your fingertips. It's something out of nothing and we're listening, so spit it. Every mic is a magic wand. All the stage is a world. And when they ask you to dance, kick them in the teeth. Listen to the beat. Listen to the beat. In less than 100 years, every single one of your Facebook friends will be dead. Your life, your impact on this planet, upon your community cannot be measured in likes, in plays, in CDs sold. You better recognize, you better weaponize. So here's what you can expect. Style over substance, lust and fear over respect. I used to rap really fast, and the kids at the show would say, damn, but they wouldn't understand. What you say is more important than how you say it. What you do is more important than what you say, and what you build is more important than what you do. So, what are you going to build today? Young leader, young metahuman, young spellcaster, stay fashioning the blueprints. Humility is beautiful, but when worse comes to worse, remember what you're worth. Remember, the people who have not accomplished half of what you have are going to tell you that you work too hard. And they'll support your yapping, but when you propose action, they'll tell you that it goes too far. But what you But if you really want change, be prepared to make war, whether physical, spiritual, cultural, or something more, because if we are the ones we've been waiting for, what the hell are we waiting for? The soundtrack to your life should not be background music. Wrap your poetry around war clubs. Take your most potent, battle tested folk music, turn the bass up, and add some drums that bang. You better recognize, you better weaponize. See, we are more than the sum of our parts. They are less than the sum of our fears. I think the guards are asleep at the gates, so we got all the weapons we need right here. We are more than the sum of our parts. They are less than the sum of our fears. I think the guards are asleep at the gate, so we got all the weapons we need right here. All right. Yo, that right here is getting to me. My throat was going crazy too, but thank you guys for sticking around, for listening. As always, we're gonna have the after party where we hang out on the Zoom for a little bit. We'll be back next Monday. So if you want to sign up, be on the lookout for the sign up sheet. Follow us on social media. Tuesday, tomorrow, Mona Bar. Wednesday, Storycraft at Crown of Crows. Otherwise, be on the lookout for more events. You can follow us online. For the online mic, my name's Rich. Dead Wall Reveries on Instagram. For the live stream, well, we'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone.